that wants to find me. I'll be in the last place you would look, in a place where people used to be, a land that's called reality. You'll find me there. I won't be catching up on Reddit. I won't be watching any news. I'll let the planet spin without me, 'cause everything has been without me sometime. And everyone will be alright if I'm not live by satellite. It's a beautiful day, I'm running away. Don't bother to Facebook message or call me.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of the Filmbox Podcast, the greatest movie podcast in the entire world, if I do say so myself. My name is Aaryn Souza, and I'm joined by my good friends Connor and Sam, who are here today, both ready to go, and ready to have a good time. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Doing good. It's been a minute.
The energy is hot.
Yeah, it's been almost been a month or so since I've recorded. So
Yeah, you haven't been around in a while.
yeah, it's just been busy. It's fine though.
Well, if we open the box today, we're going to open the film box today. We got, that's a new thing I'm trying. I don't know, man. I saw that look you gave me, Connor. It's just that look like, huh? What is he doing?
I think sometimes we just need to hold your hand a bit more. when you stray away from us, I don't like the results.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Today is awards show day. So we're going to do, last year we did our film box awards, and I'm thinking, let's throw this out there. We call them the Boxies. Is that what we want to call them?
The boxers.
The Boxers?
Yeah,
I like that. I like that a lot better.
Golden Boxers.
The Golden Boxers. Okay, that's it now. The Boxers, the annual Boxers awards. So we're gonna do our little awards show and talk about the best and some not the best of 2023. So, but before we do that, and we're going to basically hop right into it, but before we do that, we got to do our 30 pods of movies challenge today, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, our favorite shot in movies.
That would be correct.
All right.
Right.
Our favorite shot in movies.
We've
So who
officially
wants to
crossed
kick us
over
off?
the halfway point too. This is day 16.
yay!
Woo! It feels like we've been doing this forever.
Yeah, because we record like once a month.
Fair enough. Who wants to kick it off?
I'll
Very
go.
well.
Oh, nope.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
Everyone's going to go
Aaron, how
all at
about you
once.
go?
Ready?
Aaron, how about you go?
Yeah, the one person who didn't want to go.
Okay, I'll go first. I've got one pick. I've got one choice for this, mainly because I was trying to think about it, and I couldn't think of anything else that really stood out except for this one, even though I know there are. And it would be the binary sunset scene from Star Wars A New Hope. That little, couple second shot of Luke looking out over his farm with the twin sunsets.
With arguably the best song in
The best song. Yeah.
in Star Wars. So
Yeah. Just unrivaled. So that's my pick.
Sam, you can go.
all right, I'll go. All right, so I'm gonna pull an Aaron, and I have a top three.
Nice.
And actually, this is from my top three favorite franchises.
Ooh.
So in
Interesting.
third place, I got in Raiders of the Lost Ark when they're digging and looking for it, and it's like that sunset with Indy just like walking around and stuff.
That's a pretty good shot.
My runner-up, my second place, is also binary sunsets. So I figured, me and
I
Aaron
knew
have
we were
similar-
going to have the same.
Yeah. And then my all-time favorite is King Theoden's speech in Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
At the part where
yeah.
Aragorn kicks the boot and breaks his toe. That's
No,
not your
not-
favorite? Did you know he actually broke his toe?
Did you?
The scream was
Did you
real.
What?
Listen, I'm not. Listen, Sam. I know you're kind of a noob with the franchise, but fun facts.
Yeah. If you could tell me a little bit more about that too.
No, you just gotta watch the
Connor,
movies for
have you
yourself.
seen them yet? Have you seen them yet?
Have I seen them?
The extended versions are on Max.
No, have not.
Yeah, there it is. I
Soon.
like how you started and said, "Man, I'm gonna get so into this," and then stopped it like 10 minutes in, and then just never picked it back up.
Listen. I'm busy.
Not gonna lie, they spend like an hour in the Shire in the first movie.
I love that part,
But
though.
it's a
That
great
is my
bit.
favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
What that means, I don't know. Okay, my pick. I got a runner up and then my first pick. For one of my favorite movies ever, Jaws. Brody tossing the chum into the water as the shark emerges.
Yeah,
Gonna
for the
need a
first
bigger
time.
boat.
Yeah, that's a great reveal shot.
Oh yeah. But my all-time favorite was my background for probably the longest time until the sequel came out. It's the leap of faith from Into the Spider-Verse.
That's also
When Miles is
Good one.
jumping and the buildings are just, it's like the slow-mo shot. It's just beautiful.
Interesting. An animated shot. That's a good pick. I like that.
Thank you. It's
it's a
beautiful.
great pick.
Animation doesn't get the credit it deserves sometimes for cinematography. I mean, I know we have like categories for best animated movie, but like pointing out singular shots in an animated movie is not, I mean, that takes a lot of work to design something like that. So, good pick. I like it. All right, cool. So, I guess we're ready to roll right on into the awards.
Yeah.
The very, very special Boxer Awards. So we've got, what is this, 25 categories?
23,
Is that what I'm seeing
24,
24.
24.
25. 24.
25.
24.
Well, no,
No, 'cause we're
24.
missing- yeah.
Because it
24,
It
yep.
broke out perfectly even amongst us.
28.
What?
I'm just kidding.
37. We got 160 categories to go over
We're
today.
breaking down our awards for each individual scene of a movie.
Every movie that came out, we have an award for.
oh,
No, all right. So we got some awards to go
speaking
through.
of that, how many movies did you guys see this past year?
164.
Yeah, mine was
I
like
believe was my
one-
final number.
Like total or releases?
Oh, for 2023 releases?
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know that.
Because I had
can-
233 movies watched, and of that, 105 of them were released in 2023.
How many did you see this year?
233 total.
Damn.
I watched 175.
Four-
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how much I could have done that.
4 times 20.
80,
80.
39.
57.
For 2023,
Correct.
strictly.
Yeah.
Saw 80.
Jeez.
I think that's
So, not bad.
2 years in a row leading the way.
Yeah, well, you watch, like, just every day almost.
I work from home a lot,
Mm.
so I can knock out like 2 movies in a day.
Yeah. Also, like, hey, I'm going to say every other day for me, really, is where I was at. And that's not bad. Just about every other day. All right, let's go to the awards. Because we did see a lot of movies this year between all of us. Between all of us. So we're gonna give out some fun awards, some good, some not so good,
Some just
and
all right.
So and some that were there. But the way this is gonna work is we have all these categories. We're gonna announce the categories like one by one, and then we each have a nominee. And then we're each gonna talk about the nominee, and then we're gonna pick we have already picked the winners, but we're going to announce the winner based on our 3 nominees. So it's not, this is all our like opinions from the movies we watched this year, all that kind of stuff. So, all right. Let's kick it off right away. We're not going to pull an Oscars thing and do best movie at the end. We're going to do best movie right off the top, so people are into it. So, our nominees for the 2023 Best Movie Award. For me, my nominee was Oppenheimer.
My nominee was also Oppenheimer.
And my nominee actually was Oppenheimer.
oh, wow. No, I mean, look. Oppenheimer it's a feat.
There's no explanation needed.
Yeah, it's a feat of filmmaking. It's so unique and so good. The acting's great.
It was on my top
Cinematography and
25
music.
all time already.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, so it is the best movie of 2023. So your winner for best movie is Oppenheimer. Yay, woo! I don't have congratulations or like a applause noise or anything like that, so yeah, we got the Discord one.
Yeah, I was gonna say my
We'll be able to hear it.
My audio interface has like the presets. I don't know. I've never tried any of them out, but I'm not gonna try them now just in case.
It's just some foreign dude just yelling slurs.
Yeah. I mean,
That'd be bad.
let's see.
Well,
Okay, nothing happened, so I don't think anything.
okay. You have to
we're good.
record them.
Yeah.
All right. Next on our list is our favorite film. So not necessarily the best movie of the year, but the one that we think was our favorite.
And so the nominees, my nominee is The Holdovers, which is probably the most comforting movie I've seen in a long time. It's just like a warm blanket kind of movie. It's so, and the performances are out of this world, especially on such a small cast. It's absolutely incredible.
My nominee was Past Lives. It's a really deeply emotional movie about relationships, and it's just beautiful storytelling. And you just walk away from the experience with like a knot in your stomach.
And mine is Oppenheimer.
All right.
We're off to a great start. I promise not everyone is Oppenheimer for me.
Everything is Oppenheimer on Sam's list.
I promise.
Even in the next category.
Yep.
That's the only film I watched last year, so just Oppenheimer.
He watched Oppenheimer 137 times.
All right, and the winner is The Holdovers.
Woo! Congratulations.
I have yet to see The Holdovers, but I know Aaryn and Connor both have.
It's just the best.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
All right.
All right.
On to the next. We talked about our favorites. We talked about the best. Let's start getting some negativity flowing. Our least favorite movies of the year. Aaryn?
My nominee is a little film called Beautiful Disaster with, I believe, Dylan Sprouse is in it. Just an absolute dumpster fire. It's got one of the worst stories I've ever seen. It's based on a book too, which blows my mind. It was actually a popular book. It goes from like this story of like a college girl falling in love with a bad boy to like, okay, all of a sudden the mob's involved, and it's like, what? And it has one of the most batshit crazy sex scenes I have ever seen in a movie. That it's just, it's wild.
I want you to describe it in vivid detail. How about that?
So there's nothing like.
Don't.
Well, I mean, the
It's
one
supposed
thing,
to be
there
a brief
is-
segment about each.
I don't know, man. It was weird.
All right. My nominee for my least favorite film is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. You know, the idea, and now that more and more popular entities are becoming public domain, everyone's first instinct is let's make a horror movie out of it. We're seeing it with Steamboat Willie, but Winnie the Pooh was the real trailblazer here, and what a cavalcade of shit that was.
I think that trail did not need to be blazed.
No,
I think we were kind of expecting that movie to be that, though.
There's a difference between like, okay, like this movie's gonna be bad versus like they didn't even try to make a movie. Like
That's
there's
true.
no
Yeah.
they refuse to score certain scenes. The acting's atrocious, the costume designs are terrible, the kill scenes are just laughable. Can't believe I wasted my time on it.
Yikes. And you saw it in theaters, right?
No, it didn't come to a
Oh.
theater near me. Like, I think the nearest one was like 20 miles away. And
Oh, God.
God strike me down if I travel 20 miles to see that movie in theater.
Oh, man.
All right.
Sam.
And then my least favorite film
Oppenheimer.
is I was gonna say Oppenheimer. No, it was Peter Pan and Wendy. It was just boring as all heck, and then the acting was terrible in the movie, and I don't know.
That might be the most under the radar, like swept under the rug Disney live action remake ever.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
'cause you hear
Pinocchio
about
last year.
Yeah.
Gosh,
With Tom Hanks.
I don't know what I would rather see, honestly. Peter Pan and Wendy or freaking live action Tom Hanks as Geppetto. No thanks.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But I guess the loser of the our least favorite film is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe it was made. I can't believe it's getting a sequel. I hate I hate everything that it's inspiring. But listen, I'm probably going to watch the Steamboat Willie movie too.
Yeah, well. All right, moving on. Our award for best script. Our nominees are Oppenheimer. My nominee is Oppenheimer. Strictly because the actual scripting itself was so unique in that Christopher Nolan wrote it in first person from Oppenheimer's point of view, which is something that is literally like never seen in Hollywood. And to boot, it was a really phenomenal script that really filled out 3 hours of time in that went by like nothing. So
I was gonna say, especially in like a historical drama kind of thing too.
right. You know, so it was really, really unique and really cool.
My nominee was Poor Things. I like the way that it's written as if it's like a Shakespearean play, but it takes place like in this, I don't know what time period is, like both futuristic and in the past.
So it's like a steampunk kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. But I just love the way it's able to blend like more Shakespearean tones with more modern day lingo, I guess. And then it helps that you have like a knockout performance by Emma Stone delivering those lines, and it's just all around insanely enjoyable to watch and listen to.
All right, and then my pick was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I mainly picked this one because out of all the Marvel movies that came out last year, this was easily the best one.
And they said fuck.
and they said, and they said the first Marvel
Nice.
F-bomb. So, yeah, so I just think that since they actually made a good movie last year for once, so.
All right. And our winner of best script of 2023 is Poor Things.
Woo!
Congratulations, Poor Things.
Very well deserving.
Yes, very well deserving. And the applause in our ears come through.
Just
Resounding applause.
Just imagine it if you're listening.
All right, next up is the best poster. So we had to look at all the posters and decide which one is the best one. That's why it's the best poster.
Yeah. Woo! I will say I like that we want to acknowledge the work, like work on posters, like the artist's work on posters largely goes under the radar.
Yes.
So I do like that we're taking the time to acknowledge, good work in a poster.
Minus the floating heads, actually. You guys suck.
Well,
We'll get to that.
yeah, we'll get there. All right, my nominee for best poster is 1001, which is a great movie with, I think, an even better poster. That pastel art, like oil painting art, drawing of Tiana Taylor's character and her son, arm in arm. It's unique and it's cool visually, and I really enjoy it.
My nominee was Godzilla -1. They put out a bunch of posters. They all just look incredible with the Godzilla effects. My favorite's obviously, I think, the IMAX one where he's in the water with his eyes just. Everything is kind of obfuscated, but you just see his eyes glowing and like boats on fire around him. It's just sick.
And then my nomination was The Killer. So I chose this one because of, again, like the pastel artwork. And then if you look at the actual title, the eye and killer's like dead and fallen over with a bullet hole right there. And Michael Fassbender is staring you in the eyes with the gun. So
Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And the winner is
Nice.
Wrong one.
We had the drum sound effect, but it was the badumtus and it wasn't the drum roll.
is that you could just imagine is The Killer.
Yay!
So yeah. I'll press the right one this time.
Yeah, it was a cool
Congrats,
poster.
Killer. It is a really cool poster. Well deserving.
Back to some negativity though.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm looking at the way we have this lined out.
I have
You
all
have-
of our negative ones.
All the bad ones Connor has.
the bad ones.
Connor Jameson, professional hater. So
Negativity king.
yeah. So the worst posters. There were a bunch. Aaron, your nominee.
Yeah. So from floating heads to just trash, my nominee for worst poster of 2023 is Ant-Man Quantumania, which namely their floating head poster. I mean, floating heads just suck anyways. Mm-hmm. They're so jumbled and messy and they don't add anything. They're not unique. It's just like, oh, here's the people in the movie on a weird colored background. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what Ant-Man Quantumania is.
Yeah.
And the movie wasn't much better. So
No.
My pick is About My Father. It was the Sebastian Maniscalco, Robert De Niro movie. Literally the poster is just them like arm in arm. Like it's incredibly boring. At least with like Winnie the Pooh, they at least tried to have like a cool poster. Yeah. And Sam?
yeah, my nomination is Strays, the dog movie, and it's literally just the dog's showing its teeth and a collar. So
It's like the lower jaw of a dog.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not even the full dog.
At all.
They had to have some suspense. It was like, what is that? Is that a cat? Is that a crocodile? What could it be? Even though,
Yes.
and we don't have an award for it, but the most obnoxious trailer in movies, ones that are just played nonstop. Strays was played nonstop
Yeah.
for me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, me too.
But
Yep.
And again, the movie that wasn't that much better.
No.
Yeah.
The loser of best poster or worst poster, sorry.
The loser of best poster.
The worst poster of 2023 belongs to Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yeah. Ah,
Perfect.
nice. I love the sad trumpets.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a floating head poster. It's pretty trash.
Mm-hmm.
All right, our next award is for the movie with our biggest personal impact. Movies that, really touched our soul and affected us deeply beyond what, like the surface level of what a movie usually does. So my nominee for biggest personal impact was Past Lives. Which is, I mean, Connor talked about it already. It's very, heart-wrenching, very deep movie about relationships and life and love and, people drifting away and that sort of thing. It's very, very emotional, very touching. So,
my nominee was The Iron Claw, the story about the Von Erichs, which we'll touch on it more in a bit, but it's just horribly, horribly tragic, everything that's happened. And it was done, the movie itself was also very depressing. And walking out of the theater, it was just like, God damn, that lingered for a while.
Mm-hmm. And then my nomination was actually also The Iron Claw. Yeah, I just going along with everything that Connor said is just thinking about how big family is, and if you're in a big family, and the guy had like four brothers that, and they all
technically
worked
5
together. Technically 5, but yeah.
They didn't show one.
And then the final 20 minutes of the movie was just gut wrenching. So.
Oh my god, yeah. Have you seen it yet, Aaron?
Nope. I will.
Yeah, you got it.
Me too.
I will. All right, the movie with the biggest personal impact of 2023 is The Iron Claw. Congratulations,
Yay.
Iron Claw. Late arrival to 2023, coming out in December, and sweeping hearts across the film box.
I think me and Connor both had different movies for this until we both saw it, and we just
yeah.
Because I listened to our last award show, our first award show, I guess, same thing, but it was kind of like The Whale, where it was like Aaron had watched it, and me and Sam, we had other picks for I think it was just best actor, and Aaron was like, you got to go see it and then talk to me. And as soon as we saw it, we both didn't even say anything. We just changed our answer in our sheet.
Yeah.
All right. Next
right.
up, we got a different one that is not usually talked about. We have a movie we liked, but everybody else didn't like or hated. So this is a movie that we could we enjoyed, but probably wasn't received. I was gonna say higher up, so it wasn't received well on Rotten Tomatoes, Letterboxd, stuff like that, or got poor reviews.
All right, so my nominee is a rom-com from earlier in the year called Somebody I Used to Know, starring Alison Brie. I really enjoyed the story. It was interesting and fun. It was fairly funny, and I enjoyed the characters. I thought there was good chemistry, and yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for a good rom-com, and I actually really enjoyed it. So, and a lot of people didn't, which was surprising. So that's my nominee.
So my nominee is maybe one of the most. You either loved it or hated it.
It's divisive.
Divisive. That was the word I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Skinamarink.
Gotcha.
The experimental horror movie. I think that came out in January. But a lot of people will say, "Oh, it's boring. Nothing happens." Well, in my opinion, and I didn't love it, but I liked it a decent amount. It just sets such a phenomenal creepy atmosphere to the point where when you're watching, you're just it's a black screen, but it's I can see a face. I know there's a face right there, and it's I am just thoroughly like on edge the entire time, even if nothing is being shown to happen.
All right, and then I have a pick that is a very controversial. It might be a little controversial. I might get some smoke for this. I chose The Flash, and the reason why I chose The Flash, not saying that I support anything that Ezra Miller's doing or what he's been accused of.
Should not be named.
But I just think, I think Batman's my favorite DC superhero. And I did watch the original 1989 Batman before I saw this movie, so I was already in like the Michael Keaton state. So I just enjoyed how they brought him back.
Spoiler.
Well, it's been out for half a year, so I like how they brought George Clooney back also. So.
Oh boy!
Oh man, what next? You're gonna tell me they got all the old Supermans involved too?
Oh,
including Nicolas Cage.
Not Nicolas Cage. And the nipple bat suit. So
nice.
No, I enjoyed it. I know it wasn't the best, obviously, but I liked it more than a lot of people, and I think it got a lot of hate because of He Who Shall Not Be Named.
And the shitty CGI.
And the shitty CGI. Like I can kind of get past that, but I don't know. So, and the winner is The Flash because of how controversial it was. Don't come at me.
No, because I also supported that because I like the emotional moments in it, but yeah.
Didn't see it. Don't want to see it.
Not even for George Clooney.
Nope.
So next up, more negativity. We got the movies we hated, but everyone else liked. Again, the inverse of that past category, the movies that we are much lower on than everyone else.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily that we hated these movies, like you said. It's not, but we are not in the majority.
We just need a grabby superlative to give it. So people will be like, oh my God, Aaryn hates this movie?
Do you want me to go last on this one?
No. You go first because
right.
I have the biggest problem with this one.
Okay. So my nominee for the movie I hated but everyone else liked was Bottoms, which is regarded as the best comedy of the year. And look, I'm not saying it was bad. Because it was funny, and I did kind of enjoy it. It was just so over the top violent, and like it just took me out of it because of it. Nice, the crickets. Thank you. I just didn't like it as much as people were saying it was like a generational comedy, like it redefined comedy, like revived it, kind of thing. And I just didn't see it. I just didn't see the same thing.
Shame. I think Bottoms was my favorite comedy of the year. Anywho, my pick, Megan, the killer robot doll movie from, I think it was the first movie I saw of the year. People liked how quirky it was, like, look at that, the doll is killing people, and it's like, it's fun. So by the books, wasn't that interesting. The supporting cast was very forgettable. I get why they wanted to make a sequel because it did make a ton of money, but it really wasn't that special in my eyes.
I think I remember like reading like they were comparing it to like how like Child's Play and like Chucky and same thing like that.
Not even close.
I was gonna say and people were actually saying it was like the best horror movie of the year.
No, that's When Evil Lurks or Where Evil Lurks or Talk to Me. Megan should not even be in the conversation.
All right, and then I have our second animated movie on this list. Oh no, not second. Well, we talked about an animated movie, but this is our first animated movie. I had Elemental, I was just bored. It was just boring. I didn't like it. I didn't like the direction, and it's like, everybody thinks he died, but no, he comes back to life, which I also hate in movies.
It's water.
I think, and I wrote the review for this movie, and like they had the potential to pull a Zootopia-esque society with this movie because the world was so fascinating, but they focused too much on the love story between these two people and not enough on the world and the society and dealing with the, like, even the immigrant story of like the fire people being immigrants to the city. And you know, that is so fascinating, but they like put all that to the side and made it about those two characters and their love story, which was wholly less interesting.
So our winner for the movie that we all hated, but everyone else liked is, well, one of us hated. It was Bottoms. I think in the same vein as The Flash, because it's a bit more controversial. Again, I thought it was like one of the best comedy movies of the year. Marshawn Lynch was hilarious in it, but
and I'm not saying it wasn't funny, because it was funny. It was just too over the top for me to really enjoy it.
See, that's what you...
And everything.
That's the thing. It's like... Shit, my mic just fell. That's the point. It's supposed to be like over the top. Like there's like slurs on their lockers, and Marshawn Lynch, after he finds out that the Fight Club was all a ruse, on his whiteboard he's just like, why women don't deserve rights. Like, it's
I mean,
so
that
funny.
stuff was funny, but like the violence was way over the top for me. Anyways, our next award is going to the Why Did I Like This movie, which is a movie that, you know, it's, I guess everyone expected to be, or at least we all expected to not be very good. And then we saw it, it was like, you know, it's actually not that bad. So different than like something that like was universally hated or loved that we like the opposite of. So my nominee for the Why Did I Like This Movie was 80 for Brady. This is if you haven't seen it, a movie about 4 old ladies who go on a cross-country trip to go see Tom Brady play in the Super Bowl. Why is it good? I don't know, but it's actually good.
It's a very cute movie.
It is. It's very cute.
So my pick was Shortcomings. It was a rom-com. I think it's the directorial debut of Randall Park. It's like a rom-com where like you don't like the protagonist at all. Like every single time that he has a choice to make, he picks the wrong thing. But at first I didn't like it because of that. I was like I don't care about the redemption of this guy, until I realized like, yeah, that's the point. You're not supposed to, like, he is the worst. And like he shouldn't be happy at the end. And I like that because that was the realization that he had to come to.
Nice. And I put I had Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny. So the 5th and probably most likely final installment of the Indiana Jones.
I hope so. God, I hope so. Harrison Ford, man.
The man just wants to quit.
They can just de-age him again.
Oh God. I mean, like, I'm glad he's still working, and I love Harrison Ford, but my guy, it's time. You've done your time. You can retire anytime you want, man.
I chose this one because obviously nobody was expecting this to be great, especially after Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But I really enjoyed it. I think Mads Mikkelsen. I think he's always great as the villain. And I don't know. I think the comedy was good. The story was good, but yeah.
All right, and the award for the Why Did I Like This Film of the Year is 80 for Brady. very good surprise.
I agree with that pick, so that's why I think it won. So
Yeah, I wanted to hate it too because I'm a Colts fan, but
It's hard to hate it.
yeah. I hated it I liked it all the way until they showed Tom Brady. I think in my review I just said this is propaganda and I will not stand for it.
Hey, it was produced by Tom Brady, so.
Exactly.
All right.
Next, we have the movie with the best soundtrack or score. Self-explanatory. So,
my nominee, it's coming back again.
the big
is
O.
Oppenheimer.
The big O.
Oppenheimer has an absolutely incredible score. I don't listen to a ton of movie scores like in my off time, but Can You Hear the Music is an all-time banger.
That's like peak gym music now. Just feeling the atoms in your skin.
All right.
My pick was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Metro Boomin with the soundtrack. It was beautiful. Each song that he had just perfectly fit the mood of each scene, and I was listening to it like the entire album well after the movie came out.
All right, and then my pick, Mr. Ludwig Göransson himself, also Oppenheimer. I listen to the soundtrack when I go to the gym, workout, stuff like that. So, and the winner is, of course, the big O, Oppenheimer.
Nice.
Take a drink every time you say Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer.
Hopefully you're not listening in the morning. All right, next category. We'll get some positivity. We'll keep that going.
Yeah, Connor's got a positive category for once.
yeah.
Just wait. Best cinematography. Movies that were the most visually appealing to look at. Aaron?
So my pick for best cinematography is our first foreign film of the year, which is The Eight Mountains, which was an Italian film technically released in 2022 internationally, but released in the U.S. in 2023. So we're counting it. The Eight Mountains takes place in Italy, in their wide and vast mountain ranges there. And it's a story of two best friends who come together to build a cabin and in the mountains, and it is just, between the intimate shots of the people of these two friends and how deeply connected it makes them feel to the vast sweeping landscapes of the Italian countryside and the mountain ranges and stuff like that. It was absolutely gorgeous. I was blown away.
I hope you have a drink nearby because my pick was Oppenheimer. We'll all take a sip.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, what more can you say? Like the black and white scenes versus everything in color, the Trinity test scene, the way that it was shot, it's just absolutely stunning.
And then my pick is John Wick Chapter 4. So, come on, it's John Wick. The fight scenes in all 4 John Wick movies are incredibly great. One of my favorite solo action hitman style shots. So.
Yeah, and the winner, surprise, surprise, John Wick, Chapter 4.
Woo!
Yeah, the fight scene's incredibly well shot. The overhead shot from with the Dragon's Breath shotgun was sick. Sam, you pointed out when we were talking about it, the stair fight scene.
That sequence, that
shot.
was 10-minute sequence, that was great. Now he goes up and down and up and down.
Yep.
And it's not only that, he was on a time crunch and he had to get to the top. X amount of time, stuff like that. So
Yeah, and the way that's shot too, where he's falling and then he stops for a second and then he gets kicked down and it's another like 5-minute fall.
yeah.
Just hilarious.
All right, our next category is the best comfort movie. So the movie that makes us feel the happiest, the most comfortable, the most, soothing. My nominee for the best comfort movie of 2023, and it shouldn't be a surprise because I actually kind of already mentioned it earlier. It's The Holdovers. It is my warm blanket movie, not just of 2023, but like probably in the last 10 years or so. It's a movie I can watch and feel happy every time I see it. So.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. The Holdovers is my pick for best comfort movie. Again, it's a warm hug. It's like putting on a blanket and sipping some hot cocoa. Yeah, Holdovers.
Yeah, and I think if I saw the movie, I haven't seen it yet. It would probably have been The Holdovers, but I had a Super Mario Brothers movie. I think it was. I don't know. I just enjoyed it a lot. I'm a video game geek myself, and you know how video game movies have been in the past. So
Yeah. Oh, you mean bad? Yeah.
oh, Assassin's Creed wasn't that bad. Tomb Raider wasn't that bad, right?
Uncharted.
Angelina-
Oh boy. Uncharted, man. Oh god. Oh boy. Well, the winner for the best comfort movie of 2023 is The Holdovers.
Yay!
Unsurprisingly.
All right. Next up, we got our favorite franchise entry.
Pretty self-explanatory on this one. We wanted to point out, we wanted to actually point out the franchises.
Mm-hmm.
And so what better way to do that than with my nominee, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is, I think, probably the best Guardians movie. And when I wrote my review, I call it, I mean, this was the first time that a Marvel has had a trilogy of movies that are all excellent. Mm-hmm. So it's about time.
Once again, me and Aaryn are in lockstep. Guardians 3 was also my pick. This might be the first Marvel movie that legit got me to, brought tears to my eyes with the rocket scenes. Just incredibly well shot by James Gunn. Awesome story. Especially when Marvel needed it the most.
Oh my god, yeah. Put Marvel on their back.
Mm-hmm. And now he's gone.
Yep. Say good luck, guys.
And then for me, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, he's like, you guys got it from here, right? And then he looks and sees Secret Invasion come out, and he's like, oh no, they don't got it from here.
Yeah. I just watched Miss Marvel, and I was like, well.
Well. And then I was going back and forth between Guardians 3 and my pick that I chose was John Wick. Again, I think this is probably my second favorite John Wick movie, and then my second favorite Guardians movie. So I was up in the air. So the overall winner ended up being Guardians 3, and I was totally okay with that.
Congrats, Guardians 3.
Yay.
Woohoo. Way to go, Marvel. Back to some negativity.
Back on the bad train.
Let's talk about some more movies we didn't like. The biggest letdown. Movies that had good amount of hype that we saw and we walked out saying, really? That's it? So, Aaryn?
Yeah, so actually, I do want to, before I do my nominee, I have to acknowledge, because we made this list and, decided all this before I saw a certain movie that I just saw. And I just want to acknowledge it because it deserves to be in this category. Next Goal Wins. Came into 2023, people saying, we think this movie is going to be a Best Picture contender. This is going to be one of the best films of 2023. I watched it. Awful. I hated it. It was not good. For a comedy, I laughed one time. in the entire movie. It was just very bland, very plain, full of Taika Waititi's general brand of comedy, and it didn't work. And then I went to log it on Letterboxd, and I follow some pretty prominent people like on Letterboxd, like in the TikTok, Twitter world. One person had seen it out of my whole list of people that I follow, and I was shocked at how it went from like, this is going to be amazing to not a single person has watched it. So it deserves to be in this category, although it's not my nominee. My actual nominee is Asteroid City, because I was super hyped for it, Wes Anderson style, and I'm not the biggest Wes Anderson fan. His style is hit or miss for me, but the cast looked great. The concept seemed really cool. And I watched it, and I came out of it like confused, because it seemed like Wes Anderson, for all his ability technically, he focused way too much on his signature style and not enough on like the story. Right, it was all aesthetic, no story. I just was just like, what? Why?
Yeah, I would compare this to Amsterdam last year. Hell, I think I had mine Amsterdam for my least favorite or most biggest letdown, because the cast in Asteroid City, pretty stellar cast,
stacked.
Pretty damn good. And I had the same thing with Amsterdam, like a pretty damn good cast, but again, it was just did not.
All style, no substance.
Yeah.
So before I get to mine, I just thought of a nominee that I just want to shout out. Napoleon.
That
I thought that movie would, same way that you talked about Next Goal Wins. Like, I thought that movie was gonna be like an awards contender.
Yeah,
and not
I agree.
not like the technical, like, oh, best design, best costume. I thought that would be like best picture, best actor. All over the place. They made Joaquin way too horny.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, like, I was expecting a lot more like his battle scenes and his feats, rather than him trying to bang his
just raw
wife.
dog. Yeah.
Every other scene.
Yeah, him like yapping in her ear, like, while there's other people around. I was like, oh man.
He started barking like a dog.
I love your Letterboxd review.
Thank you.
For it, Connor.
You
It was
think
so
you're
good.
so special because you have boats. You're not. There's no way you can say that line seriously. But my pick for biggest letdown, Exorcist Believer. I should have known as soon as David Gordon Green was like linked to it that it wasn't gonna be that great, but the trailers were like actually kind of scary, like to the point where like I was thinking about them during the movies I was seeing. But then the movie came out, super convoluted, super boring. All the scares were in the trailer, like they didn't save any. Maybe like one good scene, but yeah, it was a total letdown, and I can't believe it's already been greenlit as a trilogy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even like the original Exorcist is arguably the best horror movie of all time. So
yeah, there's a franchise that never needed to be milked, but they decided to milk it anyway. Even though like William Friedkin is like, please, before he died, he was like, none of these movies are good. I will fight any director who tries to make a movie.
God, that's awesome though.
Yeah.
all right, and then my pick was Marlowe. So this was like a mystery starring detective-ish thing starring Liam Neeson and Diane Kruger. It was just not good. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be great. I love mystery, crime, thrillers, detective movies, but it was just boring and there was no meat and potatoes to it. The climax and reveal was not. It was like, really, that's it. So
Not great.
not great.
But our pick as the biggest letdown of 2023 was Exorcist Believer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
In the worst way.
Yeah.
All right, and on the flip side, we've got our next award, which is the biggest surprise of 2023. Now, whether it be our own personal impact or just how good a movie was that we actually didn't think was going to be anything, they all kind of fall into this category. So my nominee for the biggest surprise of 2023 is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, which is an adaptation of the famous Judy Blume novel with Rachel McAdam and Benny Safdie in it. And if you don't know the story, it's literally about like a preteen girl like coming of age kind of movie. I loved it. It's absolutely phenomenal. It is so good, wonderfully told, beautiful acting. I never thought I'd care so much about something I'm so disconnected to. Like, it is so in the opposite end of of my life experience, and yet I was like,
you're a man.
Yeah, you're right. Let's go. I was like so happy. So that was really good, and that's my pick.
My pick is Godzilla -1. I think I saw maybe one trailer of it before going in, and I was like, okay, I think this is just going back to like the Godzilla just destroys everything. But no, it was masterfully told. Godzilla was like a representation of like war and destruction. Great themes of like community and like rallying around each other when like higher forces, in this case like the government, lets you down. The effects were terrific, story terrific, just goosebumps the entire time. It's one of my 5-star movies of the year too. I only have 3 of them, so
Nice.
wasn't expecting that.
All right, and then my pick was another rom-com that we have is No Hard Feelings, starring Jennifer Lawrence. I just thought it was going to be another rom-com, boring. Even the trailer, I was just not really into. But it ended up having like a different kind of twist and story to it. And actually, it was actually pretty funny at times too. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a good one.
Yeah.
I forgot I was the one leading this one.
God damn it, Aaron.
I was like waiting for someone to talk. I looked, I was like, oh, it's me. Our pick for the biggest surprise of 2023 is No Hard Feelings. I think it was the best comedy of 2023. So
I do think so too.
Yeah, I was the one who wrote the review for it. I really loved it. Just it's kind of, it's not really by the books, but it's not like the most risky movie, but it's still really fun, really funny.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
And the beach scene was great too. Anyways, next up is not the best movie, but we're still having fun. We still kind of enjoyed it. But we acknowledge it was not a good movie, really.
Yeah. Or at least not like a top tier.
Not a
movie.
top tier of the year. Yeah.
My nominee for this is Operation Fortune Ruse de Guerre, which is probably the worst name for a movie in 2023.
What do you mean? It just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, right. But it is a Jason Statham action flick. If you hadn't seen it, it has, obviously Statham in his element, doing solo action movie stuff that he always does. Aubrey Plaza is in it. Hugh Grant is in it. I mean, it was a lot. Like, I knew what I was getting into, and I knew I was gonna see Jason Statham punch and shoot people. But I actually really had a good time with it more than I would other movies. So that's my pick.
My pick, one of the later movies of the year, but it was one that we had been talking about for a while. Anyone But You, rom-com with Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney. It was actually like, I thought it'd be like super like cringy and corny, but it did have its moments. But it was just like the chemistry between the two of them was so good that it ended relationships. God damn it. My mic keeps
Having some
falling.
trouble with your mic?
Yeah, it just keeps falling on me. Obviously, I think Glenn Powell has some of the best, like, just charisma in Hollywood right now, in terms of like leading men for rom-coms. Like,
I thought you were going to say something. I thought you were going to say something else.
You are fighting this
he's
mic
got the
stand
best
right
ass
now.
in Hollywood. Okay,
That's
moving on.
exactly what I thought you were going to say.
He does have the best ass in Hollywood.
Someone else go.
And then, yeah, my pick was Expendables 4, another Jason Statham. It was not the best Expendables. It was not great, but it was, some of the scenes were pretty fun, and it was comical a couple times. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone was pretty good and funny. Wish they brought back Arnold or Bruce Willis, but we all know how they're going through right now. But the overall winner was Anyone But You.
Congratulations. The best ass in Hollywood.
The best ass in Hollywood.
We're going to send you personally, Glenn Powell. We are sending you an award.
Gold butt cheeks.
Yeah,
Nice.
for the Golden Boxers.
There you go.
Oops, skipped right over it. Next up, we have Best Director.
Another positive one for.
Yeah, I'm done with negativity. I'm on to some new things, new emotions. But Best Director, Best Man or Woman Behind the Camera, leading the way for some of our favorite movies of the year. Aaron, kick us off.
So get ready to raise your glasses again, because my nominee is Chris Nolan for Oppenheimer. Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It is absolutely phenomenal.
Keep that drink in hand, because my pick, Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer. I had to switch drinks because I ran out.
And third time's a charm. I also had Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer.
And the winner, drum roll please. No, it's
Is
Christopher
not
Nolan. Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer, best movie of the year.
Yeah.
Perfect man behind the camera to lead the way.
Yep. All right, our next category is the best animated movie, which always need to shout out the animated works. They are a whole separate breed of filmmaking, and it's really an achievement for any time a great animated movie comes out. So my nominee for best animated movie, and I'm saying this with a caveat because I have not seen The Boy and the Heron yet, so I can't put it on here. But my nominee is Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. I want to shout out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, because that was incredibly fun, but my pick is also Across the Spider-Verse. One of 3 5-star movies for me.
And guess what? My pick was also Across the Spider-Verse. Self-explanatory.
So, yeah, look, Across the Spider-Verse is just beautiful. It's got an emotional story. It's really great. And so it's no surprise that the best animated movie of 2023 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
All right, next up. This is kind of almost like the other one that we had, but this one is not usually my thing, but we liked it. Enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, the main difference between this and the why did I like this category is these are movies that aren't usually in our wheelhouse.
Correct.
They're not typically genres of movies that we enjoy, but for whatever reason,
we really
did.
liked it.
So my nominee for the not usually my thing, but I like it movie of the year is Gran Turismo. And while it's not the best movie, and the plot is basically given away in the trailer, I'm not a big car movie person. I don't watch Fast and Furious. I don't watch a lot of racing movies. I really, really like this one, and I saw it in theaters, and that might have contributed to it because they did a great job optimizing this film for super surround sound and great sound. The races were fast and exhilarating, and my heart was pumping. I was like really into it more than I thought I would be. So that's my pick.
So the more I think about it, one of the movies that I just completely forgot and probably would have been a better fit for me is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves. I'm not a
good pick.
Yeah, I'm not a big fantasy like adventure type. Obviously, I said I'd never seen the Lord of the Rings movies. Had to be forced to watch Star Wars. That stuff just hasn't really appealed to me, but I thought it was funny. But my pick is Totally Killer, mainly because it features one of my least favorite things in movies, and that's time travel.
Oh.
Yeah. Hate it, but at least they acknowledge, like, yeah, this movie's it doesn't care about the continuity, if you will. It's a fun little slasher.
All right, and then my pick is 80 for Brady. So I'm not I enjoy, sports films, but I'm not going to go out of my way to watch a sports film. But I enjoyed it, and I think it was different than most sports films do.
It was like sports adjacent, which is
Yeah.
good. And you're telling me you don't like a movie about old ladies taking a road trip? That's not
Yes,
the movie,
exactly.
the type of movies that you love.
Yeah, I am not usually a old lady type of movie.
No buddy comedies for this guy.
But the overall winner of this is Gran Turismo, based on a true story, because that's in the title of the movie. I don't know why it's like that.
I mean, it is.
I was gonna say,
It's
true.
totally based on a true story, but all right. Based on a true story, Gran Turismo.
Next up, one of the ones that I wish we didn't have to talk about, but there were just so many movies within it. The best corporate biopic. There's so many movies that have come out recently about a product, a figurehead in a company that it's time that we address them, if you will.
Yeah.
So, Aaron,
And we don't have a worst corporate biopic category, but
because I would have
acknowledge the
announced
good
that.
ones. Yeah. Yeah, because Connor would have announced that one. But we are going to do... So, my nominee for the best corporate biopic is Air. Which it's about Nike signing Michael Jordan back in the 80s. Cool nostalgia, great cast, funny. It's for a corporate biopic, it is probably the least corporate biopic feeling movie. Like, it doesn't feel like they are pushing like some of the other ones were like, all right, well, this is about, the hot Cheeto, but really it's about Cheetos pushing their brand out onto the consumer. This did not feel like that at all. It felt like they were telling a true, genuine story that was done really, really well. It helps that Ben Affleck was behind the camera, and they had him and Matt Damon and Jason Bateman and Chris Tucker starring. But, that's my pick.
Yeah, my pick is Blackberry. It was kind of like completely under the radar until I actually saw it, but Jay Baruchel, Glenn Howerton, I thought they were incredibly funny, especially Glenn Howerton. He's not going to get nominated for Best Supporting Actor, which sucks because if you love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's him, just without hair this time. It's fun. It's like not I don't want to say high stakes like Tetris was first a movie about the invention of the game Tetris was like a spy thriller. This was just like it was high stress, high tension because we all know what happened to Blackberries. But it was good.
All right, and then my pick is the only corporate biopic I saw all year.
Somehow.
Yeah, somehow. This would have been a great one if for the not usually my thing if I saw like Air or Blackbird or something like that.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Because I'm not a huge fan of corporate biopics, but the only one I saw was Pain Hustlers. Wasn't great, wasn't good, wasn't bad, wasn't great.
By default, it's in this
By
category.
default.
By default, yeah. Unfortunately, I had to throw it in there. So
Yeah, and our winner is Air.
Woo!
Very compelling piece.
Yeah, it was good. Air and Blackberry though were truly a step above the rest. All right, now we're going to move into, in true Oscars fashion, we saved the acting performances for the very end. So we're coming up on our last two real categories. This one is Best Male Performance, with the caveat we were challenged, and I was very adamant. I was challenged. I was very adamant against it, but we were challenged to do actors that are not expected to be nominated for Oscars.
That's both supporting and lead.
Yeah. So, and this is encompassing supporting and lead for Best Male Performance. So, the Cillian Murphys, Paul Giamatti's, those are out. We are not able to choose those. So don't get mad at us.
yeah.
But my pick for Best Male Performance by a non-Oscar nominee is Dominic Sessa for The Holdovers. His story is absolutely incredible. So they filmed The Holdovers at an actual private school in Massachusetts. I believe it was in Massachusetts.
I think so.
And for this character, they were doing like open casting, and he was a student at the school who had never acted in a movie before or a TV show or anything like that. This was his literal first movie, like cinema credit, movie, TV, any of it. Not even like commercial acting, none of that. And he absolutely blew it out of the park, like held his own with, Giamatti and Divine Joy Randolph, who are both expected to be nominees for awards this year. And he was just as good, if not better, than some of these people. And it absolutely blew me away. So that's my nominee.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Dominic Sessa was my pick. Like you were saying, he definitely held his own with two people who, in Randolph's case, she's definitely going to get the supporting actress win, I would say. And Giamatti's definitely like top two. I just thought his line delivery was so funny in so many different areas. Like when he dislocates his shoulder and he's in the car, and like him and Giamatti are just going back and forth. And he's like, "Oh, I thought you said you wanted to wash your hands of me." Giamatti's like, "Well, not literally." And he just goes, "Well, of course not literally. I didn't think you would actually just wash your hands." It's just so funny, especially for someone with, like you said, no credits before. First acting gig is just incredible.
All right, and then my pick. I obviously have not seen The Holdover, so I can't choose him, unfortunately. But my pick was Zac Efron in The Iron Claw. Main reason why I picked him was because this is not a type of movie he's kind of been in. He's been more in like comedies, The Neighbors, High School Musical, Baywatch, stuff like that. But
17 again.
Yeah, whatever. 17 again. But shout out to Connor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think this is just he just was great in this movie. I think all the acting in that movie was great, but he just stole the show, especially with his last scenes with his kids when he was just.
Oh my god! I used to be a brother. Now I'm not.
Won't be your brother, Dad.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And the winner for this category for the best male performance by a non-expected Oscar nominee is Dominic Sessa for The Holdovers. So congratulations, well deserved. I am still holding out hope that he gets a sneaky nom, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I think the field's just too stacked.
All right, and then next we have the best female performance. Again, just like the one above, we cannot pick any Oscar nominations. Sorry, Aaryn.
This was the one you really fought on.
Oh, this one was so tough because all of my favorite picks, like my 5 most favorite picks, were all like expected Oscar nominees. So, but my nominee, and so there's still a very solid chance that this actress gets a nominee, but as it stands right now, she's not in the top favorites. So she counts, and my pick is Greta Lee for Past Lives. Absolutely flawless performance. I adored everything that she did in that movie. So subdued, very like the emotion was not necessarily always like hitting you in the face, but you could see it, and it was just the subtlety of it, and it was perfect. So that's my pick.
Now I know my pick is not going to get any sort of Oscar love because famously the Oscars hate horror movies, but it's Alyssa Sutherland for Evil Dead Rise. She is the main deadite of that movie. She is, well, even before she becomes a deadite, it's more of like a family drama, which she carries incredibly well. And then when she does become possessed, she is horrifying every time she's on screen. Like, I was just like, when I was watching in the theater, I was like in like a ball, just like peeking out behind my fingers because I was just terrified of her.
All right, and then my pick was only in this movie for 15 minutes, maybe.
Not even.
Pulling the Judd Hirsch treatment.
Yeah, the Judd Hirsch nom.
Yeah. I had Tilda Swinton in The Killer. When I was watching this movie, I knew she was in it, but I was just like, where is she? Like, where is she going to pop up? And then once she did, like, she kind of stole the show for that, 10 to 15 minutes she was in the movie.
Or less.
Or less.
It was like it was literally like 5 to 8 minutes of screen time.
But that I think she had like a monologue that was great. So yeah. The best, and then the overall winner was Greta Lee in Past Lives, and I think that's again self-explanatory.
Yeah, deserving.
I hope she gets it.
Yeah,
but
I do too.
that was it for our 2023 awards. But as we like to do, we're in 2024 now, so we might as well give you our most anticipated movie of 2024. This isn't like we picked a winner, but we just each have one movie that we're all excited for. And I think we kind of went, I don't want to say against chalk, but we picked movies that we wouldn't normally have, I would say.
Yep. So my most anticipated movie of 2024 is a movie that was supposed to come out in 2023 that I was really excited for. It's Challengers. I have been on the Mike Face train for just since last year.
Since last year.
For so long. And so I'm really excited to see him star in a movie. Zendaya, Luca Guadagnino directing. I mean, that's powerhouse, and I'm really excited for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my movie, I ended up picking Nosferatu. The Robert Eggers vampire film with Bill Skarsgård, Willem Dafoe. It's it's been a while since we've had like a very good vampire movie, I'd say, and this is our best shot. And all the stills came out, or a lot of stills came out, and I'm glad they didn't show Skarsgård as Nosferatu yet, but it looks incredibly creepy.
All right, and then my pick is Gladiator 2. So again, Ridley Scott, but I just happened to watch the Gladiator last night, and
Nice.
and I just forgot how the movie is just great. So I'm just hoping he's not gonna run into another Napoleon and be a letdown.
It's got my guy Paul Mescal, so I doubt it.
And Denzel. It has a pretty decent cast, so
Very good cast.
so I'm just excited to see that, and hopefully it's good, if not better than the first one.
All right. Well, with that, that's going to wrap up our Film Box Awards of 2023, the Boxers, as we're calling it. So congratulations to all the winners. Your awards will not be in the mail.
Except for Glenn Powell's.
Yeah, except for Glenn Powell's ass.
That is already on its way.
Yep. Should be there tomorrow, actually. All right, so that's going to wrap up this episode of the Film Box Podcast. If you like what you listen to, leave a rating, subscribe, follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Also, follow us on social at the Film Box Pod. I'm pretty sure is at the Film Box Pod on Twitter. It'll all be linked in the show notes below.
At Filmbox Pod.
I want to thank Josh. Yeah, at Filmbox Pod. I want to thank Josh Woodward for our awesome theme music, as always. It's really great. We love it. You can follow us on Letterboxd. We each have Letterboxd accounts. You can see what we're watching when we're watching it. You can see what Sam rated Gladiator from just last night. So that'll be on there, along with all the other movies that we see on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, Connor watched 200. What did you say? 264. 200. What? What was it?
It was like two.
It was like 230 something, right, or something like that.
It was 233.
Oh,
230. So you would have been able to see 233 ratings from Connor, from last year. So that's not a small amount, and it's not enough that we can talk about on the podcast. So
yeah, I do lists. So if you're ever interested, they're all public. So you want to see what I thought of on a wing and a prayer.
Oh God,
is there?
There you go. So check those out. And with that said, we will see you on the next episode of the Film Box.
Running away, don't bother to Facebook message or call me, 'cause I'm living life in airplane mode and everything is okay. I just wanna play, unplug for the day and live in the moment, 'cause I'm living life in airplane mode, yeah.